What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to a brand new episode of the Ironheart Podcast, the podcast about film, TV, and advertising. My name is Lungile, and I'm super excited to talk to you guys and be back for a brand new episode. Today's episode is about something that is near and dear to all our hearts. It is money, 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 money. Okay, I can't sing as you guys can see. It sounded way better in my head, but it didn't really. Yeah, it's not bad. Okay, so back to business. So today we are talking about money disagreements with clients. So if you are a freelancer or you have a startup agency, I'm sure you've had like money disagreements with clients. I know I've had many in the past 5 years, and man, these things are brutal. You know, it can get ugly. It can drain your soul, leave you defeated, and all of that stuff. So, in today's episode, we are going to be talking about how to prevent money disagreements with your clients. Okay, so over the last 5 years of running my business, I've had multiple situations that really left me deflated and depressed and all of that stuff. But I came up with a system and I've done some research online. I should also be doing these things that I'm listing. I need to start doing most of them, but yeah, okay, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is, if you don't want to have money disagreements, when a client calls you and they say they want you to do something for them, you need to ask them what their budget is, and if they do not tell you what the budget is, you can give them like a budget range of what it costs. In fact, even before doing like a quote, sometimes just mention it so that you can see that they can afford that budget. Okay, because then they can disagree and say, it's too expensive or whatever, and you don't have to do any work. So I try to do that now. If a client calls me and say they want to book me, I say this is my rate, and then if they want to book me, then they know what the rate is before I hang up the phone. I don't want to prepare a quote and find out only they can't afford me. Then I've wasted time. I'd rather talk about money up front. Okay, that's one thing I have learned. But obviously it depends. Some projects are much bigger. You know, sometimes you might need like an hour to actually investigate and see how much the project will cost. But if it's something simple, like a basic thing, you can literally talk to them about that in that literally on that phone call before you go too far, or if they've just DM'd you. Another thing that you can do is you need to establish clear payment terms. So a lot of freelancers usually work and they get paid 30 days later. And sometimes you work with big agencies and they always say, I will pay after 30 days. You don't have to agree to that. Sometimes you can say, no, I don't work like that. This is how my company works. My terms and conditions is like I don't start a job until I get paid 50% up front. Or you can say, I work with payment milestones because it's just how I work and I've been burned in the past. You know, I wish I could do this also. I should have been doing it like for a long time. Sometimes the agencies push back, sometimes they don't. But I think it just protects you from so many things. Because just because a company or a client is big, it doesn't mean they will not fuck you over when it's time for them to pay you. So you really need to stand up for yourself, and obviously you need to determine where you are financially. If you need the job badly, or if you can afford like the problems, then you obviously have to take the job. It all depends on where you are financially in terms of your business and all that stuff. But in a perfect world, you should tell them we have payment terms, pay 50% up front and 25% on the first delivery, and second 25% before delivery. Because once you deliver, they get busy. They will send you to the accounting people that you didn't know who they were, and they will ignore you, and you'll hear every excuse and story like under the sun of why they can't pay you. I've had clients that didn't pay me for months. I've had friends whose clients didn't pay them for 6 months, where you end up having to chase them, sending passive aggressive emails until they pay you. And it's not a nice feeling. It's actually very disrespectful. Another thing is you can have late payment penalties included in your contract. So maybe have a one-page contract if you want to keep things simple. Say, for this job, I'm doing this for X amount, and if you pay late, you're gonna pay a 5% late percent fee. That might also help your clients wake up, and many clients will take payment terms more seriously when they are aware of penalties. Another thing, you need to have a contract. You need to define the deliverable and the scope. So I will do X for X amount of money, and you have X amount of changes. They do not get unlimited revision. So you can say, I will shoot this video for X amount, and you have 3 revisions when I'm editing it for you. So that's something that you can do, just to clarify things so that they don't think that they can, give you changes forever, and then eventually when you get angry that they're giving you too much changes, and then you don't want to do the work, and then they'll say, you didn't finish the work, we can't pay you. So yeah, you need to define what the deliverables are, how many videos. I'm just making a video as an example because it's just easy for me. Maybe you're an illustrator, maybe you're a designer, but just define what you're doing. You're doing this video for X amount, and they have 3 changes, and they have to respond after 48 hours for each change, so that things can be done in time and give you time to do the work. You also need to have cancellation terms. If you started a job, they need to pay, and then they cancel, they need to have cancellation terms. This also helps to protect you financially. Another thing is you need to set up a transparent pricing system. So maybe you have a flat rate or an hourly rate. You need to tell them upfront, this is my hourly rate, or this is the flat rate for the project. The trick about flat rate projects is that they can help you, but sometimes the client will also want you to do more work than what they're paying for. You start to feel like they want too much out of you. So when you do agree on a flat rate, just make sure you are happy about it and you don't feel like you're exploited. You can do itemized pricing, so you break down all the different things that you're doing for clients and you show them the prices. So that's not something else you can do. Say, I'll charge you this amount for strategy, I'll charge you this amount for shooting, I'll charge you this amount for editing, and then they know. And you can even have revision pricing. So maybe in your contract you say, I'll do this for X amount, and you have 3 changes. If you want more than another changes after that, I'll charge you X amount per additional change. That'll just help you manage the job. The next thing you can do is obviously require a deposit upfront. I think a deposit really separates the talkers from people that are not serious. It can be 30 to 50% to protect you, just in case they decide not to pay you, or they go bankrupt, or something happens, And you can even have a non-refundable clause in your contract. This will really help you. It'll just help you filter out all the bullshit people, because a lot of people call you and say they want to do work with you, but until you say deposit, then they just take forever. Then the job is not real until the deposit is in your account. So you can focus on the clients that pay and that are serious and that are looking for your services. Okay. You also need a written agreement. So written agreements, I guess, is like a contract. If you don't have a lawyer, you can buy a SLA, service level agreement contract. You can buy one from these lawyers online. You can buy one for $500, or you can get a template, just so that you know what you're doing for them, how much it's going to cost, how you're going to deliver, and what the changes are going to be, the cost and the timelines, and when the client should give you approval by. Okay. And you need to keep track of extras. You need to include all of that in your agreements. Okay. Another thing is you can have automated invoicing and payment reminders. You can also offer flexible payment plans. If you don't want to fight with client about money, you can ask them to pay in different milestones. You can discount them for paying early. That can also help you in terms of your cash flow, versus them paying you after 30 days. So if they pay before 7 days, they get a 2% discount or 5%. That will motivate them. Every business wants to save money, so that might help you. Okay. You need to also communicate budget updates and always update them about risk and things that change. Another thing is you just need to be very honest to the client. You need to be upfront. You it doesn't mean you need to be mean, but you mustn't beat around the bush. Okay, so you really need to be. It's not nice. Yes, you want them to hire you again, but you need to be stern when it comes to money with client. I've had so many disagreements where I do like a job and then 5 days later they don't want to pay me and I'm chasing them and it's just bad and it's ugly. And I've had moments where like I I work with a client that I know, and when it's time for them to pay me, they make excuses. It's always so shocking when it happens, especially if it's a client you work with for so long. But I've learned from that. I now want people to pay me in milestones. If a client is brand new, I don't even touch the work until they've paid me up front. And I want them to pay me as I go per milestone. That's what I've done. That's what I've went through. It's just very painful to fight clients about money, to be like calling them month end. It's, to be honest, if you're a freelancer, I'm sure you've experienced this a lot. It is not nice. It's very, very painful to chase clients for money. It's very frustrating. It will just make you angry. And so I think in order for you to protect yourself, you need to think about all these things. Have like your pricing ready, have your SLA ready, tell them this is what I'm going to do for you for X amount. You get X amount of revisions. If you want an extra revision, it's going to cost you X amount. And you're just ready and you're prepared. You have cancellation fees, and you just have all these systems to protect yourself. And you try to do the best that you can. You wow them with your work, and you're passionate and you're empathetic, and you try to make them look good. Just another last point is, I know if as you freelance and work with different clients, there will come to a point where you actually lose money. It's not nice, but it does happen. And sometimes you have to get to the point where you're like, you know what, chasing these people for money does not help. I might as well just let it go and move on with my life and focus on other better clients. Because there are shitty people out there. There are sleazy people out there. And some, they look really cool and then they just like stab you in the back. So it doesn't mean that if you put all these things in order, they will pay all the time, but it'll help filter out all the shitty things you can experience. But just know sometimes you will have to like let things go just for your sake of peace. It has happened to me. I've lost money. I've lost work because of promises a client, because I didn't sign contracts. I was too happy. I had happy ears. That's what they call it. When someone tells you that you're gonna do a great project, then all rationale goes out the window and you jump through hoops to try to impress them, and you find out they're not gonna hire you. So yeah. So it's just something that you need to learn about. You need to be stern about. And you need to treat it like a proper business. Even if you're a freelancer, at the end of the day, you're a business, and you know that no one is gonna walk into like a shop and leave without paying. It doesn't work that way. So why should it happen to you? No one's gonna go to a lawyer without paying upfront to see them, or a doctor. Why should they do it? Why should it happen to creatives? Creatives always get fucked, and it's not nice. We should pay for people to hear our thoughts, to hear our ideas. In a perfect world, we should treat ourselves like experts, like lawyers. Someone wants to get advice from you, they need to pay to set up a session with you. If they want you to work, they need to pay for that upfront. Because I think there is not too much like regulation in the creative industry. But yeah, we need to do it ourselves as young business owners and creatives. So yeah, I hope this helps you guys. I hope you guys learn from this. I hope you pick up some really good tips. If you listen to this on YouTube, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and that bell button, and you'll be notified every time we drop a new video. Another thing that you can do is, if you listen to this on Spotify, please drop your favorite point, or Apple iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Please rate us. I'll share this with your friend, and hopefully it helps them. Until next time, guys, I'll see you in the next video, or I will talk to you in the next video, because this is a podcast and you can't see me. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.